What if I told you that vaginal dryness isn't just about estrogen declining? It's your body's way of saying, hey, I'm not getting what I need to thrive. So today we're going to dive into one of the most common and least talked about perimenopause symptom, vaginal dryness, and what you can actually do to restore comfort, connection, and confidence. Welcome to the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. If you're a woman, 35 plus, feeling exhausted, struggling to lose weight, and wondering where your libido went, this is for you. I am Tracy Aaron, a functional medicine practitioner who helps women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or trendy nonsense. Because here's the truth. Your symptoms aren't random. They're signals. And if you know how to listen, you can fix the root cause and start feeling like yourself again. If you're ready for real solutions, let's get to it. So welcome back to the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. If you're a woman 35 plus, feeling disconnected from your body, maybe struggling with low libido, or just wondering why intimacy doesn't feel the same anymore, it's not in your head. I am Tracy Aaron, a functional medicine practitioner and women's hormone expert, and I help women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or losing their spark. So let's dive in. Vaginal dryness is one of those topics that women whisper about or maybe avoid altogether. But the truth is, it's incredibly common in perimenopause, and it's completely fixable when you understand the why behind it, like most things in our body, right? Today, I'm going to break down what's really happening in your body, how hormones like estrogen and DHEA play a role, and the natural science-backed solutions that help you feel like yourself again without synthetic hormones or side effects. So a few years ago, one of my clients, let's just call her Melissa, she came to me in tears. She said, I wanted to ask this on the group call, but I was just too embarrassed, so I'm reaching out to you one-on-one. And listen, I love my husband, but intimacy has started to feel uncomfortable, and it's really starting to get at me. I understood. She had tried the over-the-counter lubricants. Nothing was helping long-term until we discovered something simple and powerful. In fact, her vaginal tissue was starving for hormonal support. And once we replenished it the right way, her comfort, moisture, and confidence came back. So guess what? That spark comes back too, because the more comfortable we are, the more pleasure we actually receive, the more we're actually going to want this type of thing. So this, thankfully, was a fix for her. And I want to share with you the things that I suggested, a couple items that you can apply topically, and some internal work that we can do too. So let's dive into the science behind this. Like, what is actually happening in perimenopause? So as estrogen and DHEA are beginning to decline, the vaginal tissue is beginning to lose collagen and blood flow and natural lubrication. This makes sense. You might be experiencing this. And what happens with this is it can lead to things like dryness and itching and discomfort. Even UTIs can come from this, or that burning feeling after intimacy. So when estrogen lowers, it's also shifting the vaginal microbiome, that estrobolome that we talked about with the Microbiome Labs Tennessee Territory Manager Tamara Wiper last week. Really get into that lesson if this is something that you want to know about. Like, the estrobolome is something critical to women. We have a microbiome in our gut. We also have a microbiome in our vaginal cavity. And this means that, like, the good bacteria that protects you from infections can start to fade, and it absolutely can shift. Our pH of that environment can change as our hormones are beginning to shift. So it's not that your body's like breaking down or failing you. It's simply that that hormonal environment is starting to change. And the thing is that lubricants aren't always enough. It's kind of like applying chapstick when what you really need is like internal or cellular hydration. Chapstick on your lips, it'll give short-term relief, but it doesn't restore the issue, right? The actual dryness of the skin on a deeper level. So true healing, which is always what we're after, is happening when we address things like root cause, which could be, for this particular client, Melissa, like local hormone depletion. But it also has everything to do with the level of inflammation in our body and blood flow. So this is where targeted topical therapies like DHEA and natural plant estrogens come in. So I want to introduce you to 2 creams that I absolutely love and recommend for women who are struggling with vaginal dryness. Number 1 is one of my favorites. It's vaginal, it's by Quicksilver, and it's called Vaginal Beauty Serum. Funny name, right? Well, this one combines DHEA, that mother hormone, and vitamin E to restore elasticity. It rebuilds collagen and improves natural moisture from the inside out. And it's working because DHEA, I call it that mother hormone, but it's really just that precursor to both estrogen and testosterone. So it's going to feed the cells exactly where they need to regenerate. And if we apply this daily for a few weeks, we can move into just a maintenance schedule every once in a while because it's starting to work on a root cause cellular level. It's really nourishing, smells good, easy to apply, and totally works. My second favorite product is probably Julva Pro. This is by Dr. Anna Kabeka. I love her. She's known as the girlfriend doctor. She really has transformed the way we look at aging and perimenopause and menopause in general, and has lots of natural solutions. So her formula combines DHEA, emu oil, and plant-based phytoestrogens that are going to support that vaginal tissue from a cellular level, provide that hydration that we're looking for. So many women might notice things like improved comfort, elasticity in the tissue, and more sensitivity within weeks of use. So none of these are just a one and done cream. I would recommend both. You apply on a regular basis until you start noticing improvement, and then you can move into a maintenance schedule. But the bonus to Julva Pro is it's safe, it's non-systemic, you're applying it right where you need it, and it's designed specifically for perimenopausal and menopausal women. Completely safe to use. I love this. But let's dive into lifestyle because it's not always about the supplements. What can we be doing lifestyle and nutrition-wise to support our bodies in this way? Here's really obvious tip and trick. Stay hydrated. Drink enough water. But it's not just about water. I want you to drink mineralized water. Add in electrolytes throughout the day. We want cellular hydration, not just are we peeing clear. We want actually to have enough liquid in our bodies. We're mostly made up of water. We need a lot of water. As far as nutrition goes, we can focus on omega-3 fats. This is going to be like salmon, chia, flax seeds for that anti-inflammatory support. Remember, perimenopause is a naturally inflammatory state, meaning you could do everything perfectly and still be more inflamed than you were a decade before. Why is that? Because all of the changes that are happening in your body are producing more inflammation than before. So it's not time to work harder, but we do have to work smarter. Put more salmon, chia, and flax in your diets. How do you incorporate that? Salmon omelets, salmon on your salad, salmon with vegetables at night, chia puddings, flaxseed on top of your yogurt and protein powder. Really easy to add chia and flax seeds on top of nearly anything. And that's going to provide that phytoestrogen support. And then lifestyle-wise, we need to manage stress, right? High cortisol is going to deplete DHEA. When stress is completely running the show, we're not going to be making enough DHEA. Our testosterone, our estrogen, and our progesterone will suffer from that. It's time to let cortisol take a break. And if that means you're taking a break, then listen to your body's cues and surrender to that. You also can strengthen your pelvic floor with things like regular movement, blood flow to the area. It's a use it or lose it, girlfriend. It's time to get regular blood flow to this area. There are people who are fear-mongering around the idea that we're going to lose all this vaginal tissue and everything's going to resorb and we're not going to look the same ever again and we won't feel everything. But it doesn't have to be that way. Use it or lose it. Get blood flow to the area regularly. Regular movement, regular attention to the tissues will keep the tissue elasticity young and fresh and rebuilding itself. So if you are struggling with dryness, discomfort, pain during intimacy, you don't have to ignore it anymore. It's not just about applying more lube, and it's certainly not about vanity. This is a topic that I would consider fits under vitality. So start with one of these topical options like the Vaginal Beauty Serum or the Julva Pro. I will link some in the show notes underneath this episode so you can find that quickly. Support your hydration and your fats. Consider getting your hormone levels tested too, especially DHEA and estrogen. Let's see where you're at. Because when you rebalance from the inside out, everything is going to change. So perimenopause does not have to mean the end of pleasure, confidence, or connection. And I want you to know that your body is simply just asking for a little bit more support. And now you know exactly where to start. So if you love this episode, if you needed it in your life, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. If you're ready to go deeper and address your hormones from every angle, I'd love to invite you to join the Balanced Hormone Solution, where inside this high one-on-one touch plus group dynamic, we rebuild energy, libido, and confidence from the inside out. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at perimenopause.nurse for more hormone truth, not hype. Until next time, remember your symptoms aren't random, they're signals. Let's learn to listen. That's it for today's episode of the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. If this resonated, don't just listen, do something about it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know another woman who's tired of feeling like a stranger in her own body, send her this way. For more support, check out the show notes. I've got resources to help you get started. Just remember, your body isn't broken. You just need the right tools. See you next time.